you this in all seriousness. Really, I want to know. Are you punking me? Is all of this some elaborate method of gaslighting? If it is, you have to tell me, right? I ask because while all of the planets I visit are just off the charts weird, Kepler Object of Interest 5554.01 basically cannot exist. It cannot. Even though I've been there and I talked to the eyeballs, and every other planet I've ever been on all agree that they are real and an actual civilization. It's easier to believe that we're all living in a simulation run by a pimply teenager with a sick sense of humor and the whole planet is an elaborate hoax than to believe that the existential eyeballs are a legitimate thing. But let me explain. KOI 554.01 is a gorgeous planet. Its average temperature is a bit less than 75 degrees, and it has rolling hills, green mountains shrouded in romantic clouds, and 3 glowing, shimmering moons. And the inhabitants, the eyeballs, could give a shit. The eyeball civilization is made up by an alien race of skinny humanoids with huge eyeballs where their heads should be. Of course, they would say we're fat humanoids with heads where our eyes should be. Eyeball education only cares about one thing, and one thing only: existential philosophy. Now, you heard that right. Sartre, de Beauvoir, Camus, Kierkegaard, all that stuff that college freshmen read and think is so deep. It's a whole society devoted only to the contemplation of their absurd existence in a world that makes no sense. That's literally all they do. For instance, they have math classes, but the math classes are only about getting students to understand quantum mechanics so that they can fully realize how futile all observations are. They have history classes, but only so they can read about the ridiculously worthless attempts at creating civilizations that will all eventually be swallowed up by time. And I swear, they must have classes, though I've never actually seen them. Classes in wandering morosely through city streets, looking out into the distance while they somehow smoke cigarettes when they don't possess mouths. They carry little glasses of whiskey with ice that never seems to melt and get discreetly drunk while conducting the most annoying conversations in the galaxy. I no longer have inspirations, only recollections. Whenever I try to communicate, love disappears. Life would be tolerable if not for its pleasures. So many things become clear when you're all alone. I was born to be alone. I'm too sensitive, as my dentist used to say. I feel miserable this evening, but our game cheered me up. Now, the misery is creeping back like a melancholic dog. Have you got a cigarette? It just goes on and on like that forever. They're never like, hey, did you see the football game last night? Ever. Unless, as I mentioned earlier, they and you are punking me, which you have to tell me now if you are. You have to. Anyway, you might wonder how the eyeballs are able to keep the lights on. They have exactly 0 useful skills. They can't lift heavy things or fix starships or mine for valuable minerals. The entire planet is hopeless, useless, stupid. Although, I have to admit, they are skinny and they don't have mouths, so that probably cuts back on their need for resources. But the real reason they survive is that the rest of the galaxy finds the eyeballs absolutely hilarious. Check it out. They're in great demand and hired by planets all around the universe as sorts of occasional jesters. They let eyeballs wander around the cities and interview them on their TV programs and give long monologues about radical freedom to their collected bodies of government. And the aliens laugh, huge, uncontrollable belly laughs, even in alien races that don't have bellies or the concept of laughter. Every planet in the universe finds them to be ridiculously, insanely, hellishly funny. Which, of course, the eyeballs take as even more proof that life is absurd. Maybe they're right. As you can see, there's not much to learn from the eyeballs. If it were up to me, we would burn every book of philosophy on Earth and then take the ashes and shoot them into the sun. But the eyeballs, they seem happy in that their lives have no meaning once they realize they're not eternal, sort of way. But I'm on to you, Phil. This is Dr. Eamon Scallion Jones, signing off.